Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I present to you a match analysis video regarding a recent Shiv only match that I played on stream, and I thought today would be a really good opportunity for me to give you a few ideas of what my thought process was at the time, and perhaps some post-match things that I've noticed as well.
There's scavengers in the area. Stick close and keep an eye out.
Alright, Shiv time. So I have sped up sections of the clip, as you can see here, because of course nothing really notable happens. Obviously I'm going to a box to get Shiv at the moment, because without it, clearly I would be bloody useless. So here what you see is me cutting across the middle. A lot of the action seems to be taking place over in this area, so that allows me to cut across immediately, which I do here. Get a nice flank, and so what you'll notice there is I throw the smoke as I shiv the first guy, so I can get a double uninterrupted there. Now another thing you'll see here is I'm using Lissa mode as I heal, and the reason why I'm doing that is obviously so that I can see anybody approaching, but luckily on this occasion that wasn't the case. I will also say about the previous opening clip that I was kind of lucky that there was nobody in the crack house or in the back spawn, because that obviously could have quite easily been the case, but luckily it wasn't here. Now I see this guy, I'm pretty sure he's alone, so I'm going to take my opportunity here while he's distracted, because most people that are using the VR are probably scoped in and not using the radar. So of course paying attention to the weapon that the enemy is using is just as important as it here. And this guy's not coming forward, so I'm going to use a smoke here to get the easy shiv, like so. Alright, so at this point I've now had 4 shivs and I'm feeling pretty good about myself. Here I'm using a lot of movement to try and confuse the enemy and of course evade, which I then do, allow my teammate to take over, and I fixate on a new target. Alright, so this is what I'll often do. I will pick a new target if I know that another guy has spotted me. And the reason why I do that is, one, because this of course is a nice easy shiv for me. And secondly, the original guy that I was going for, the one with the Molotov, will then think that I've forgotten about him and he'll lose track of me or lose focus on me and focus on someone else. And I can come back and clear up in a little few minutes. Alright, so again, looking for the angle here, looking for the flank. Just checking behind me as I see that guy is at the box, and again patience is key here. Checking behind me again, trying to cover every angle. I see this guy is marking, and again I'm just taking targets of opportunity here, and I'm lucky this guy didn't see me, but it's perfectly set up for me there to get that shiv as well. I love this map.
Okay, got it.
Alright, so a lot of what I've talked about so far is pretty much map knowledge here. Knowledge of the spawns, knowledge of enemy movement, knowledge of, areas of interest that the enemies will visit. It's a nice easy shift here, not much to say about this. Unfortunately I couldn't save the teammate in time there, but these things happen. Thankfully I remembered about that bomb there as well, which is good. Alright, so again, I've sped up the clip here because all I'm doing really is getting boxes and moving into position where I can get a flank. Again, the way I'm moving around the map, I'm sticking to sort of the underneath areas, but I'm also paying attention to my teammates as well and their positions, because a lot of times I'll put myself in positions where sometimes the teammates will follow and they will give me away like they have here. So again, just keeping some distance, making sure that I've got options to escape should it be required. Alright, so again I'm doing movement here, avoiding bullets, and I do get that shiv. So again I will have sped up the clip here because I've run out of shivs now, and I will need to get more boxes. Now there are some close encounters with the enemy. You'll see I've just switched loadout there, and that is because if I die then I've got a shiv when I respawn. Especially as my box did not give me another shiv. Alright, notice how I'm not buying armour at the moment either, because at the moment to me it seems like a pointless activity. Because if I'm going to die, I'm going to get my Shiv, so there's no point in buying armour because that's causing me less chance of dying. Now here, luckily the enemy has a brain fart and doesn't decide to chase me, and the box does give me a Shiv. Right, so immediately craft the Shiv. Now I put armour on. And we see that this guy then jumps back through the window. Now I do make a mistake here, because I linger in that area too much. But then the guy did also throw smoke, so
nice.
that would have stung me as well.
Fuck you, Peltzer.
Obvious cringe alert there.
That.
Massive cringe alert there. Apologies about that. Right, well let's carry on. I definitely just got marked. Alright, so you hear me say I definitely just got marked there. Which is quite possible. So again, I'm just kind of floating in this area because I'm waiting, of course, for the mark to wear off. But okay, so this guy here obviously has spotted me again, and he was the one that probably marked me before, so he knew that I was going to be there. So again, just backing up, giving myself options here. Now you're going to notice something in a minute when this guy that's chasing me comes around this corner. There's gaps in that fence panel there, and even though I can't see him in listen mode, I'm going to see him walking through the gaps in the fence panel now. So that's how I'm able to time this as quickly as I was, and as perfectly as I did. And I do comment on that here. Time that like a fiddle. Alright, so again, teammates look like they've got that covered over there. That guy's going to get revived. The pros of their shotguns, man. Alright, so I do choose the selfish option here of going for this Shiv rather than going to revive the teammate, even though that would have been fairly possible. I have no idea what this enemy is doing or looking at, but I'm just being patient because he's got a sharp stick. There we go, so I made him waste a bomb and another smoke bomb, sorry. And I've still got the Shiv. Perfect. Alright, so again, the procedure now is just to keep walking around the map, looking for angles, looking for possibilities. I know that one of them's using covert, so that makes my job more tricky. And again, all the time they're distracted, even though he's now down, I'm using that to move up. Whilst checking behind me every so often. Right, again, so I don't know what this guy's doing or what he's looking at, but fortunately for me, he didn't turn around. Now, you noticed that my teammate was running outside just now, which could have compromised that Shiv, because, of course, him running would have alerted the guy, assuming he was looking at the radar, and he could have turned around, but luckily that wasn't the case on this occasion. But just be aware of that. Alright, so smoke going out here. Smoke misses. So again, looking for that angle. I'm seeing he has smoke. Thankfully, he misses the throw. Again, lots of movement to try and confuse the enemy and give my teammates time to pull up here. Unfortunately, I didn't have an angle there, but the teammate does mop that one up. So, of course, thoughts now turn to the last enemy. And hopefully in a minute we're going to get a radar blip of where he's at. Again, using the middle section of the map here provides me an opportunity to get to any point in the map quite quickly. We see the blip in the radar, which now gives me that location that I was asking for. And I see him here. He's planted that bomb. So I know that my angle of approach has been somewhat compromised. Because, of course, if I get damaged by that bomb, I have to wait 3 seconds. Detonate the bomb, take no damage. And luckily, I time it brilliantly. And there we go. 13-0. Absolutely flawless.